All right, get ready, because today we're going deep, really deep into something that's honestly more important than most people realize. The parasympathetic nervous system.
Oh, yeah.
We're using some pretty incredible notes from Dr. Rasha Eldeeb to guide us.
Excellent.
Kind of like our treasure map, right?
Yeah.
To uncovering all the secrets of this part of our biology that so often gets overlooked.
You know, it's funny. We always hear about that fight or flight response, which is the sympathetic system, of course.
Of course, yeah.
But its counterpart, this parasympathetic system, is quietly working behind the scenes all the time, keeping us balanced, keeping everything running smoothly.
It's like the unsung hero of our nervous system, right?
Yeah.
So where do we even begin with this this intricate network?
Well, why don't we start with the cranial nerves, which act like a control center in the brain, sending signals throughout the body via the parasympathetic system.
So it's like a central command unit with all these branches extending out to the different organs and everything.
Exactly. And each nerve has its own kind of specialized role to play.
I see.
Take the oculomotor nerve, for instance. It's responsible for controlling these tiny little muscles in your eyes.
Oh, wow.
That adjust your pupil size and allow you to focus on objects, whether they're near or far.
So every time I effortlessly, change my focus from my book to something across the room, that's that nerve at work.
That's it.
I never really thought about the mechanics of that.
Yeah, it's one of those things we take for granted, right?
Totally.
Until it doesn't work properly.
Right.
Imagine trying to read or drive with blurry vision.
Not a good time.
No.
So what other fascinating functions does this cranial nerve crew control?
Well, the facial nerve is a multitasker. It not only helps us express our emotions through facial movements, but it also influences our senses of taste and smell.
Really?
Yeah. So it stimulates the production of saliva, which is essential for dissolving those food particles and allowing the taste buds to do their job.
I see.
And it actually controls tear production, which helps protect your eyes from drying out.
It's amazing how these seemingly simple functions are actually so intricate and all interconnected.
Totally.
So our taste, smell, and even eye health all tied to this one nerve.
It is, yeah.
That's wild.
And then there's the glossopharyngeal nerve, which plays a key role in our ability to really savor those complex flavors. You see, the back of our tongue, that's where we detect those more nuanced tastes.
I see.
And this nerve is responsible for sending those signals to the brain.
That's interesting, because I always wondered why some flavors seem to linger more in the back of my mouth than others.
Exactly. It's not just the taste buds themselves, but it's the nerves transmitting those signals.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And speaking of vital nerves, we can't forget the vagus nerve.
The superstar
of parasympathetic system.
It's like the grand conductor
of
the whole operation.
Orchestrating this whole symphony of functions.
So tell me more about this maestro of a nerve.
Right.
Because it sounds pretty important.
It is. It accounts for 75% of the parasympathetic fibers in the body.
That's a lot.
It's 75%. It originates in the brain and branches out to a wide range of organs, including the heart, lungs, digestive system, and even the gallbladder.
So it's a long nerve.
Yeah.
With a lot of responsibility.
It does.
What are some of the specific effects it has on these organs?
Well, think of the vagus nerve as your internal relaxation guru. It slows down your heart rate, promotes digestion, and generally encourages a state of calm and ease.
That makes sense, because I've heard about that connection between deep breathing exercises and relaxation.
Exactly.
I'm guessing that's got something to do with the vagus nerve. You're spot on. Deep, slow breaths actually stimulate the vagus nerve, which then sends signals to your body to chill out.
I see.
That's why things like yoga and meditation, which emphasize deep breathing, can be so effective for managing stress.
So by consciously controlling our breath, we can actually tap into this powerful nerve and influence our body's relaxation response.
That's it.
That's incredible.
It is.
But I'm also curious, how does the vagus nerve impact our digestion?
Well, it stimulates the muscles in your digestive tract, helping to move food along efficiently.
I see.
And it encourages the release of digestive juices and enzymes, which ensures that your body can break down food and absorb nutrients properly.
So it's not just about relaxing.
Yeah.
It's about making sure our bodies are running smoothly. on like a fundamental level.
Absolutely.
That's amazing.
And its influence extends even further. The vagus nerve even plays a role in controlling inflammation and regulating the immune response.
So it's like a master regulator.
Yeah.
Keeping all these different systems in check, promoting overall well-being. Okay, I'm starting to see why this nerve gets the superstar title.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
It is, yeah. It really is a remarkable nerve, and its influence doesn't stop there.
Right.
We've been talking about the cranial nerves, but there's another branch of the parasympathetic system that originates lower down in the spinal cord.
Oh, right. Dr. Eldeeb's notes mentioned something about that.
Yeah.
The sacral parasympathetic outflow or something like that.
Exactly.
What's the story there?
So this part of the system forms the pelvic nerve.
Okay.
Which, as you can imagine from its rather suggestive Latin name, nervus eregentis, plays a significant role in
I was going to say,
sexual function.
That explains the name.
It does.
So tell me more about what this pelvic nerve controls.
Well, it's responsible for a range of functions in the lower part of the body.
Okay.
Like, for example, it helps regulate bladder control, allowing us to urinate when needed.
So when I feel the urge to go,
yeah,
that's the pelvic nerve sending those signals.
Precisely.
Okay.
And similarly, it influences the muscles in the rectum and colon.
Right, right. The other essential bodily function.
Yes.
So this nerve is crucial for both those things.
It is.
Urination and defecation.
Yes.
It's amazing how the parasympathetic system is involved in so many basic yet vital processes.
It really is. It highlights how this system is constantly working in the background, keeping our bodies functioning optimally.
For sure.
And of course, as we alluded to, it's also essential for sexual function.
Okay.
Stimulating blood flow to the erectile tissues.
Wow, so this pelvic nerve really is quite the multitasker.
It is.
It's incredible how one nerve can have such a wide-ranging impact on our bodily functions.
It really speaks to the interconnectedness of our nervous system, you know?
Clearly.
How even seemingly separate functions are all intricately linked.
Yeah, for sure. So we've covered the cranial nerves and the sacral outflow.
Right.
What else can you tell me about the big picture of the parasympathetic system?
Well, one key concept to understand is that it's often referred to as the anabolic nervous system.
Anabolic. Okay, I've heard that term.
Yeah.
I think of like bodybuilding and stuff.
Right.
But I'm not really sure I understand what it means in this context.
So in simple terms, anabolic processes are all about building up and storing energy.
Okay.
Promoting growth and repair. It's like the rest and digest mode of your body.
Gotcha.
On the other hand, the sympathetic system, with its fight or flight response, is considered catabolic.
Catabolic meaning?
Catabolic processes are about breaking down and mobilizing energy for immediate use.
Okay.
So think of it like this. The parasympathetic system is like a wise gardener, nurturing and cultivating your body's resources.
I like that.
Whereas the sympathetic system is like a firefighter, ready to spring into action when there's an emergency.
That's a great analogy.
It is.
So it's a constant balancing act.
It is.
Between those two systems, ensuring that our bodies are prepared for, both relaxation and action.
Exactly. Think of it like a seesaw, right?
Right.
When one system is activated, the other one is suppressed. For example, when you're stressed, your sympathetic system kicks in, increasing your heart rate, your blood pressure.
Right.
But when you relax, the parasympathetic system takes over, slowing your heart rate, lowering blood pressure, promoting digestion.
So it's like a constant dance
It is.
between these two systems, working together to maintain harmony in the body.
Precisely. And Dr. Eldeeb's notes actually highlight some specific examples of this.
Okay.
This reciprocal action.
Right.
So for instance, in the pupil of your eye, the parasympathetic system causes constriction, making the pupil smaller, while the sympathetic system causes dilation, making it larger.
Oh, that makes sense because I remember learning that dilated pupils are associated with fear or excitement, and constricted pupils are associated with relaxation and focus.
Exactly.
Okay.
And we see the same interplay in other organs as well. The parasympathetic system stimulates digestion, while the sympathetic system inhibits it. It promotes urination, while the sympathetic system inhibits it. It constricts the bronchioles in the lungs, while the sympathetic system dilates them.
Wow, so it's like a constant tug of war.
It is.
With each system kind of pulling in opposite directions to maintain that delicate balance.
Yeah. Exactly.
But are all bodily functions controlled by both systems?
That's a great question, and the answer is no.
Oh, really?
Some structures are only innervated by one system.
So it's not always a two-way street?
It's not, no.
Oh, that's interesting.
For example, the muscles that widen the pupil are only controlled by the sympathetic system. And this makes sense because in a fight or flight situation, dilated pupils allow for better peripheral vision, right?
Yeah.
Which could be crucial for survival.
That makes sense.
So there are instances where one system takes the lead, right?
Yeah.
Depending on the specific function and the context.
That's fascinating.
And on the flip side, the muscles that constrict the pupil are only controlled by the parasympathetic system. Which again is helpful for focusing on near objects. Like when you're reading a book or working on some detailed task.
It seems like the body has evolved some really clever strategies.
It has.
To optimize its responses.
It has.
Depending on the situation.
Yeah, it really is remarkable.
It is.
And there are other examples as well. Blood vessels in skeletal muscles and skin. The adrenal medulla. The ventricles of the heart.
And the spleen are all primarily controlled by the sympathetic system.
So those are all structures that need to be ready to respond quickly.
Exactly.
In a stressful situation.
Exactly. They're part of that mobilization.
Gotcha.
On the other hand, most of the esophagus and the walls of the digestive tract are primarily controlled by the parasympathetic system.
I see.
Again, reflecting its focus on rest and digest.
So it's not just a matter of one system being good and the other one being bad.
Exactly.
They both have essential roles to play.
They do.
And it's really that balance between them that's key.
It's the interplay that allows our bodies to adapt and thrive in a wide range of situations.
This is all so fascinating.
It is, yeah.
I'm starting to see the parasympathetic system in a whole new light.
Good.
It's not just about relaxation. It's about maintaining that state of balance and ensuring the smooth functioning of our bodies.
Yeah. Well, it's such a fundamental level. Yeah, it really makes you appreciate just how complex and elegant like our biology is.
It's true.
You know, we spend so much time focusing on the external world, but there's this whole universe of activity happening inside us.
Yeah.
Keeping everything running smoothly.
It's pretty remarkable.
It is, and I think the more we understand about these internal systems, the better equipped we are to just take care of our overall well-being.
Absolutely.
Speaking of well-being, we've talked a lot about the functions of the parasympathetic system.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, what does all this mean for us? Like practically?
Yeah.
How can we actually tap into the power of this system to improve our health and happiness?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And it's where things get really interesting. So while we can't consciously control the parasympathetic system in the same way we can move our arm or leg, we can definitely influence it through certain practices and lifestyle choices.
Okay, I'm all ears.
All right, so we already touched on the power of deep breathing exercises.
Right, to stimulate the vagus nerve.
Exactly, but there's a whole field of study called the polyvagal theory. That delves even deeper.
Polyvagal theory.
Yeah.
I've heard that term before, but I'm not exactly sure what it's all about.
So in a nutshell, it suggests that the vagus nerve isn't just one simple pathway, but rather a complex system with different branches that influence our social engagement, our emotional regulation, and even our ability to feel safe and connected.
So it's not just about physical relaxation. It's also about our social and emotional well-being.
Exactly.
That's fascinating.
And what's really interesting is that by engaging in practices that stimulate the vagus nerve, we can actually shift our nervous system into a state of greater calm, connection, and resilience.
So besides deep breathing, what are some other ways that we can tap into this?
Well, mindfulness practices like meditation and yoga have been shown to be incredibly effective.
Yeah.
They help us cultivate a sense of presence and awareness, which can really soothe the nervous system and increase vagal tone.
Yeah, I've definitely experienced that sense of calm after a yoga class.
Right.
It's like a total reset for my mind and body.
Exactly. And even simple things like spending time in nature, listening to calming music, or connecting with loved ones can have a positive impact on vagal tone.
It sounds like it's all about creating a lifestyle that supports that sense of safety, connection, and relaxation.
Precisely.
That makes a lot of sense.
And here's another interesting tidbit.
Okay.
Even gentle touch and massage can stimulate the vagus nerve.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I always feel so relaxed after a good massage.
Right.
It's like all the tension just melts away.
Exactly. And let's not forget about the importance of good sleep.
Oh, of course.
During deep sleep,
Yeah.
our parasympathetic system is dominant, allowing our bodies to rest, repair, and recharge.
So prioritizing quality sleep is essential.
Absolutely.
For keeping our parasympathetic system in tip-top shape.
It is.
This has been so interesting.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah, I've learned so much today.
Good.
About this often overlooked but essential system.
Yeah.
And I love how you've given us all these practical tips.
Of course.
For actually incorporating what we've learned into our lives.
Absolutely.
So to our listeners out there, we hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the fascinating world of the parasympathetic nervous system.
It's pretty amazing.
It is. And we encourage you to keep exploring
the
amazing inner workings of your own body.
Definitely.
Until next time, stay curious and keep diving deep.